there, this is Beth Lauren Parrish with Inspired Riding. I'm a remote coach and certified riding instructor. I encourage equestrians to feel safe, confident, and connected to their horses. In this podcast, I'm going to offer advice for riding instructors. This is part 2 of a series, and the title of this is Your Intentions, Setting Up Successful Moments for Your Students. So how many times do you begin teaching in the same way without really thinking about it? I get it. We all fall into routines, ruts, habits, etc. They could be absolutely wonderful routines, but it's certainly useful to incorporate some specific intentions for each lesson. Here's what I will do before I teach. I get very quiet and ask myself, what will be the best plan for this student today? What's interesting is if you do tune into your intuition, the answers that can come up for you will sometimes surprise you. Of course, I still look at what's right in front of me, since unexpected, more pressing issues might present themselves. I also love to ask if my students have any specific goals for that lesson. The more I ask my students for feedback, the easier it is to shift the lesson to create the best possible learning space. So now here's a list of ideas to help you set up your lessons for success. Number 1, check in with your intuition to see if something specific comes up. Fill yourself up with love and allow that love to permeate your whole teaching experience. Just this idea alone will make a profound shift on how your student and horse responds in the lesson. Number 2, ask your student how he or she is feeling that day. Pay close attention to what they don't say. Notice their body language. Don't be afraid to ask again, and be sure to let them feel safe about responding honestly. The more you can sense how your student feels before they even get in the saddle, the better you'll be to assist in the moment. Number 3. This might sound really silly, but here's a trick I use when it looks like the student or the horse could get themselves in a bad spot. Don't worry, you don't have to tell anyone what you're doing. It'll be our little secret. Okay, here it is. I pretend I am a Jedi Master from Star Wars and imagine a big bubble of white light around the horse and rider. I imagine this force field, this bubble, creating a sense of protection and understanding. And that's why I always say, may the horse be with you, always. Okay, get to number 4 already. Be open to thinking outside the box. If it seems your student might be having an off day and doesn't feel like riding, offer them different learning experiences. Perhaps you can teach a barn management session, a learn how to polo wrap session, watching training videos together, encouraging them to ask you questions, or teach them how to lunge their horse safely. The possibilities are endless. Number 5, be sure your teaching space is safe in all aspects. If you share the arena with other riders in your lesson, be sure that a specific protocol is in place depending on the level of rider you're working with. Hopefully your barn owner has set rules. However, be sure that everyone is aware of what to do in situations where traffic can happen. A crowded arena can feel like a scary place, especially for a newer student striving to hear everything you have to say. Number 6, speaking of that, look into a 2-way coaching system. They are absolutely incredible to have quiet conversations with your rider, as well as helping to save your voice when you're teaching all day long. I've really enjoyed the C-Coach system, and I'm not being paid to say that. Okay, so number 7, continue to check in with your student throughout the lesson. Be sure that they feel comfortable to ask questions and provide you with feedback. Even with children, they often have strong opinions about how things are going. Remember to be flexible and creative. Number 8, be sure you're taking care of yourself. Have water, snacks, and create little moments to get quiet and breathe in between lessons. The more you take good care of yourself, the better your lessons will go. Number 9, Imagine you're riding the horse your student is working with. What is the horse trying to tell you? Can you convey those messages to your student? Experiment with this idea more. This could also be the key to encouraging your student to do something that you know they can handle, yet might be doubting themselves. Allow the horse to be a good gauge. Number 10, take time to make jokes. Allow yourself and your student to laugh. Riding is a serious sport, and we can often get lost in the learning. Be sure to create a very fun environment. There you go. So that is my podcast for today, part 2 of the Inspired Riding Instructor series. In next week's podcast, get ready to hear some thoughts on understanding and empathy. Thank you so much for listening. And if you'd like more advice or ideas, feel free to check out my website, inspiredriding.com, or find me on facebook.com/inspiredriding. May the horse be with you, always.